You know why I have come.
I cannot give you the Aegis.
I will find it, with or without your help. But it is our sacred charge. The Aegis is my destiny, and the blood of Amanlu is on your hands. The princess, she has taken it to Snowbrook Haven. Please, spare my people.
You have returned! He came searching for something, and when he could not find it, he flew into a rage. Hardly any have survived. But you are here? We heard you and Drevin had been assigned to Valdis's vanguard force and were commanded to siege Graylin Isle. Cellar will be more than glad to have your help. He has been within the Altorn Hall ever since Valdis left us ruined. Forgive me, they need my help with the wounded. It's good to have you home.
Milonaman, you are welcome to look around if you take care where you step. Not all of these spilled items are harmless. If you feel a prickling of the skin on your neck, do not be alarmed. These holes contain many frightened spirits who have not yet found their way across the sacred waters. Yes, I have always been in tune with the ethereal world in a way. I have spent much of my time collecting information about it, and I have even managed to come into contact with a ghostly spirit. Obviously, talking to spirits is impossible through normal means. Their words are completely unintelligible to our ears, even if the ghost in question has manifested itself enough to become visible to our eyes. Not necessarily. My research indicates that the Waikesh cultists use ancient chants to communicate with the darker spirits, the source of their otherworldly knowledge. If I could know what they spoke during their dark rituals, I think I may be able to figure it out. Are you interested in helping me? The Waikesh are much too cunning to simply leave such information lying around. I fear that the only way to learn the secret of their chant is to overhear one of their rituals. Seek them out in the Waikesh Forests and look for one of their ritual chambers hidden within their caverns. But beware, the cultists are not the only danger in this undertaking. The words themselves can be a threat to mortal ears.
Watch your back around those half-giants. They're not trustworthy.
Keep an eye out for Taklek. They've become bolder since Valdis's attack. As if we do not have troubles enough already.
Baldus and his Dark Wizard have caused such panic, it is hard to even think of studying while the fires burn so hotly. I'm busy right now, but if you want to learn about historical subjects, go talk to historian Bedelia. She'll be able to help you better than I.
This is all a nightmare, you will see. Tomorrow we will awaken to the sound of flutes ringing in the dawn. The guests will be well rested and generous with their coin.
Dangers lurk in many places throughout the world. Take care in whom you lend your trust.
This is the Tavern wine cellar. If you wish to forget your troubles for a time, speak to the bartender upstairs. Nothing down here but dusty bottles and broken glass.
Cursed Valdis and his archmage may have smashed our homes and even half of the inn. But they missed my stock of fine elvish vintages. It will take time to rebuild our lives, but in the meanwhile, there is wine aplenty for all. Certainly. It is always pleasant to meet a young person who knows how to appreciate a fine local tradition, especially in these dark days. Take a seat, my friend. Have some wine and tell me a story of your adventures. Ah, let's see now. Tell me about the time you killed a sea demon. And you have not killed a sea demon. Very well. Tell me a story about your conquest of the treacherous Arugan. Oh, you have not even heard about the treacherous Arugan. Well, this is a surprise. Well, you must have encountered that undead Duchess L'Oreal that tilted at some point. At the very least, correct? My goodness, well, I had you pegged as more of an adventurous type. Is there anything you have defeated? My friend, one such as yourself might be needing to get out more, prove yourself some. I might know of an adventure of sorts for you. A bit of a challenge, in fact. Are you interested? There is a special place you can go, not far from here, in fact. Dangerous spot to be found there. Many go in, but few come back out. It is not far, as I said. Go through the door behind the bar and descend into the wine cellar. You will find Tristeth waiting at the far end of the room. Say to him, Quivador, and he will let you pass.
This is the Tavern wine cellar. If you wish to forget your troubles for a time, speak to the bartender upstairs. Nothing down here but dusty bottles and broken glass. Hush! You should not talk about that place so loudly in times like these. I suppose you do look like the type, though. Did Drudwin say anything else? You may pass through to the Amanlu Arena down below.
Sweet lad, Meloniman, welcome to the Amanlu Arena. The Amanlu Arena is a place of fierce combat. If you prove yourself victorious against the challengers, you will earn a generous reward. Would you like to test your strength in the arena? Certainly. What would you like to know? The victor of each combat wins a special key that unlocks one of the 9 doors lining this chamber. A generous reward awaits inside each room. If you're able to win every round, you will be proclaimed the champion of the Amanlu Arena and will receive a very special reward. Of course, there's not been a champion for as long as I can remember. Is there anything else you'd like to know about the arena? To engage in a round of combat, you must first purchase a token from me. Once you have a fight token, place it on the pedestal in the center of the arena. You will be transported to the lower floor and the fight will begin. The round is over when you defeat the challengers defeat you, or one of you has pulled the arena forfeit lever. If you win the round, you will receive the key to your reward room. To return to this level and claim the spoils of the fight, simply pull the lever. Do you have any further questions? Hints? Just this. You may fight alone, or you may accept the help of friends if they enter the arena with you. My advice? No champion ever reached the highest pinnacles without support from those who stood below. What else would you like to know? Indeed, I knew that you would accept the challenge. To begin the fight, purchase a token from me. Place it on the pedestal in the center of the arena to begin. Do you wish to buy a token? You've won the first challenge. If you'd like to try your luck in the second round, you'll need to purchase a token. Would you like to buy one now?
We should have remained hidden in our valleys. We should have resisted when Voldis urged us to join his fight.
Keep an eye out for Taklek. They've become bolder since Volus's attack.
Greetings. I am afraid much of the town now lies at the bottom of this cursed crater. As you can see, my shop has nearly been destroyed as well, but you are welcome to look through what little stock remains.
Hello there. If you want equipment, you should talk to... Wait a minute. You are that mercenary, are you not? Well, by Xeria's spear, I just received a package from my brother Feldwer for you. He wanted me to thank you for helping him. Ah, a fine hero you make too. Though you might make a better one if you had a real hero's weapon to match. Please accept this token of Feldweir's thanks. I hope it serves you well in your travels.
So many wounded, so many dead. Ugh.
I have seen the glint of the assassin's gift shining through the window of Merchant Kendrill's home. How much blood will be spilled by our own people before our true course will be revealed? I am glad you are back. I know that Cellar will want to see you. He has things to tell you.
The memory of these bleak days will fade in time, but must never be forgotten entirely.
It is tragic how many of the elves have died in this attack. We must be better prepared. It is my job to ensure we are well supplied with ranged equipment for the battles that will come. Whenever I have time, I develop our weapons further to gain whatever edge we may. I am always looking for new materials, especially those that will make our arrows fly truer and harder. That is the Amanlu Orchid. You have probably seen the larger version around town. Its design is known around the land as a symbol of Amanlu and the Elven folk. I'm a fletcher, and always looking for materials that will improve the speed and accuracy of our arrows. Bring me a goodly amount of feathers from a powerful creature, and I'll let you have my orchid.
This gate is closed until order in Amanlu is restored. See the Elder if you have special need to pass.
sweet lad, my good friend. It is good to have you home, even in times as dark as these. When the tragedy hit, I thought of you, and how strong you were when we became lost in the Amanlu Isles as children. You seem much changed. I was wondering if you could help me with something, if you have the time, of course. Well, my grandfather died in the tragedy, crushed along with everything I hold dear, save this, his staff. Do you remember it? He entertained us as children with bright and colorful spells, but now I cannot seem to make the staff function. It will not even cast so much as a simple spark. I think so. Grandfather instructed me well. However, he kept referring to the headpiece of the staff, but it no longer has one. I remember it well. It always glowed with the most beautiful swirl of colors. There is no way of knowing what happened to it. I think that I must replace it, but I do not know what reagent is needed. If you would help, old friend, I would be grateful. You are still the friend I once had. I will do my best to pull myself together, and I wish you good speed. Amanlu is in need of anything to lift its spirits.
It will be long before the sacred waters run clear again.
Litharian claims that scrubbing at the fires with a staff will stop their spread. But this seems to make no sense. It is certain that none have been extinguished in that manner.
Greetings! Cellar has his hands full dealing with the attack on Amanlu. So if you really must speak with him, make it quick.
These days grow ever darker, but the elves will endure, as we have for time eternal. I have much to do, but I will always answer questions if you have them. Our history is far longer than that of most races. The other peoples of these lands are short-lived and have short memories. The humans have forgotten everything before Terminar, the cataclysm of the sword and shield, and the Dryads' memories are not even that long. We lived in these hidden forests before the sect traveled from the west, before the Empire was built, before Elendir the Deserter led the Agalans into the eastern mountains. We lived here when all of Arana was green and beautiful, when the land the humans now call the Plain of Tears was known as Wananda, the Green Prairie. Here we have dwelt since the great warrior Istara and her brother Esteru, the sorcerer, led us out of the time of darkness and caused Valutra Forest to grow and raised a ring of mountains out of the earth to protect it. Your life is not long enough to hear the 10th part of our history, child. For many ages, the sacred waters were the heart of Valutra Forest. When the land was shattered in the Terminar, many of our elders feared that the waters would be tainted. So we left the deep places and came here to protect the source, Amanlu. The waters would have healed themselves, but the unprotected forest became home to all manner of strange creatures, and the edges of the forest have been slowly dying since that time. We have built houses of stone like men and dig in the dirt like animals to grow our food. Our people were once the protectors of the entire forest, but our vision is not what it once was, and Vylutra no longer desires our protection. We cannot go back. You have lived among grunting barbarians for too long, child. Do not allow your heritage to be lost completely. Remember that Swilad means greetings, and Melonomen means friend. And for the rest, try to remember what you were taught in your younger days. The forest is our ancient home. Vylutra has remained here, unchanged through countless wars and disasters. Only the cataclysm of Terminar could affect it. With the breaking of the shield, we left the forest and have rarely felt welcome there since. The spiteful forest folk have defaced our shrines, and many creatures of evil have found homes in the deepest parts of Vylutra. Yet the beauty of Vylutra Forest remains as strange and unknowable as ever. There are far older spirits at work here, and memories longer than that of any elf. Since Terminar, death has been encroaching upon the edges of the Vylutra Forest. These dead and corrupted areas are known as the Waikesh Forest, a place of evil spirits. Our elders pitted their strongest magic against the spread of the corruption, but they failed. Some say that they even accelerated the decay. With the Waikesh exiles themselves living in the dark places, who can say whether it is the forest that gives them strength or they who strengthen the forest? Shortly after Terminar, when the Aegis of Death was given to us, some of our greatest mages became enthralled by the Aegis power. They created many new spells based on the Aegis and formed a guild to learn more about casting spells dependent on this powerful artifact. They called themselves the Manu Ostar. The spells channeled through the Aegis were powerful death magic and were very difficult to control. One such spell backfired, and death took over half of them in one stroke. Those who remained were gravely wounded, but we could not heal them. They began to decay without dying and became more powerful in magic than any of us thought possible. The elders feared them and exiled them from Amanlu. We call them the Waikesh, evil spirits, an apt title now that they so resemble the dead forests. They live there even now, but those foul, twisted creatures can no longer be called elves. No elf could survive in a place so anathema to light and all manner of living things. The Taklak are the little forest folk. They are not evil, but they are mischievous and spiteful. When we lived in the forest, we tried to teach them higher ways, but now that our influence has been removed, they have become ever more monstrous in their tricks. They have begun defiling the forest's sacred places, and we suspect that Valdis has befriended them. Do not trust them. The Taklak honor only the Taklak. Our forests are bounded to the north by a frozen wasteland ringed with jagged mountains, known by men as the Northern Reaches. But it was not always so. Once those hills were fertile and home to the shepherds and cattlemen of Mazal. The Elven Forests are the last fragment of the sunlit lands of the Northern Reaches, which once stretched across the entirety of northern Arana. But after Terminar, the land was broken, and the cold wind blew there. It became a hostile country of snow and ice. Yet the humans who lived there were resourceful. They built thick-walled fortresses to keep out the bitter cold and kept warm fires in their hearths. Much of their success can be attributed to the strength of their leaders. I recently had the good fortune to meet the Princess Evangeline from the Northern Reaches, and was impressed by the strength of her will. It appears a strong blade can be forged in frost, as well as in fire. 1 year after Terminar, a man, ancient by human standards, brought a powerful magical object to Amanlu and asked us to protect it. He called it the Aegis of Death and warned us that it had caused much suffering among its previous caretakers. He seemed eager to continue his travels, but before he left he sold to Drevisil the Elder a magical amulet and warned him to never allow the amulet to touch the Aegis. Drevisil gave the amulet to his son, Drevmire, who gave it in turn to his son, your friend, Driven. The Aegis was in our care until we relinquished it into the care of Princess Evangeline of the Northern Reaches. Of late, it was rumored that keeping the Aegis in Amanlu was harming the forests, so when the princess asked us for it, we did not refuse. We did not know that giving her the Aegis would bring the wrath of Valdis upon us.